chilling story of Charles Manson and the Manson family. In the late 1960s, a name struck fear across America. Charles Manson. A failed musician, a manipulative cult leader, and the orchestrator of one of the most shocking murder sprees in American history. Manson and his so-called family left behind a legacy of terror that still haunts pop culture today. Charles Manson was born in 1934 in Cincinnati, Ohio, to a teenage mother. Abandoned and neglected, he spent most of his youth in reform schools and prisons. By the time he was released in 1967, Manson had spent more than half his life behind bars. He wasn't just a criminal. He had become a master manipulator. After moving to San Francisco during the counterculture movement, Manson began attracting a group of young, disillusioned followers, mostly women, who were drawn to his charisma and his twisted philosophies. He preached a mix of pseudo-religious ideas, Beatles lyrics, and apocalyptic visions. They soon moved together to the Spahn movie ranch outside Los Angeles, living communally and calling themselves the Family. Manson presented himself as a Christ-like figure, full of love, peace, and psychedelic wisdom. But behind the scenes, he was controlling, manipulative, and increasingly obsessed with power. Manson became fixated on what he called helter-skelter, a term he took from a Beatles song. He believed a race war was imminent and that his family would survive by hiding in the desert and later emerge as leaders of a new world. But the race war wasn't coming fast enough. So he decided to ignite it himself with bloodshed. In August 1969, under Manson's orders, a group of family members carried out 2 nights of brutal murders. First night, August 8th. They broke into the Los Angeles home of actress Sharon Tate and director Roman Polanski. Tate, who was 8 months pregnant, was murdered along with 4 others. The scene was horrifying. The word pig was scrawled in blood on the door. Second night, August 9th, the family killed supermarket executive Leno LaBianca and his wife, Rosemary, in their home. Again, the killers left bizarre messages in blood on the walls. Though Manson didn't physically kill anyone, his influence over the family made him responsible. Manson and several of his followers were arrested in late 1969 after a series of unrelated charges led investigators to connect them to the murders. The trial began in 1970 and became a media circus. Manson carved an X into his forehead, later turning it into a swastika. His followers did the same. He disrupted court proceedings, and his girls chanted outside the courthouse. But the evidence and the confessions were overwhelming. In 1971, Manson and 4 followers were sentenced to death, later commuted to life imprisonment after California abolished the death penalty. Charles Manson remained in prison until his death in 2017. The Manson family murders marked the end of the 1960s peace and love era. Manson became a symbol of cult manipulation, madness, and the dark side of human nature. Even today, the case continues to fascinate and terrify, not just for the brutality of the crimes, but for how easily one man's twisted words turned ordinary people into killers. That was the story of Charles Manson and the Manson family, a chilling tale of manipulation, madness, and murder that reminds us how dangerous blind devotion can be.